A powerful landslide has hit a major highway in Sweden. 3 people were injured. A pile of rocks filled the European highway E6, which connects the west coast of Sweden and the whole of Norway. The mudslide damaged several cars, an area with a gas station and a fast food restaurant. A helicopter was sent to the site to clear the debris. It is known that explosive construction work was being carried out nearby. Police are checking whether they caused the collapse. In late August, a powerful landslide came down in Georgia. The medieval monastery of Shiomvam was covered with earth and a pile of stones. Two people have died in El Salvador due to heavy rains caused by Tropical Storm Pilar. According to representatives of the local civil defense official, rescuers found the body of a 24-year-old man. He had been swept away by a torrent of water into a ravine in the Europe neighborhood. In addition, died a 57-year-old woman. She was carried away by the current in the river Anamoros. Salvadoran authorities have equipped more than 100 places throughout the country where residents will be able to wait out the impact of the disaster. Currently, the storm Pilar is 285 kilometers away and is moving in a northeastern direction. The wind speed reaches 85 kilometers per hour. Forecasters predict that the downpours will continue for a couple more days, AP reports. A few days ago in the south of France in the department of the Maritime Alps, because of heavy rains, evacuated more than 240 people. The region was under a red level of weather danger. Stormy weather has been the cause of 3 deaths in the UK. Strong winds and floods hit the countries of Northern Europe, and the downpours do not stop for several days. This is reported by ABC News. The eastern part of the Danish peninsula Jutland and the Danish islands in the Baltic Sea are expected to suffer most from the wind. But the northern British Isles, southern Sweden and Norway, and northern Germany are also in the path of the storm, dubbed Babbitt by British forecasters. Eastern Scotland continues to take the brunt of the weather, and British forecasters have issued a new red warning, the highest for parts of the region in current days. According to the region's chief meteorologist Andy Page, the weather is not typical for autumn. This is an exceptional event and significant devastation, with the potential for further flooding, and property damage will be seen for a long time to come. Police said Friday that a man in his 60s died after falling into fast-flowing floodwater in the county of Shropshire in central England. In Scotland, a 57-year-old woman died on Thursday after being washed into a river in the Angus area, from where hundreds of residents were also evacuated. Also on Thursday, a 56-year-old man died after his van crashed into a falling tree in the same area. Although forecasters said the heaviest rain in Scotland had passed, they warned the conditions would remain difficult, with river levels still rising and flood defenses breached. Wind gusts are reported to be reaching more than 100 kilometers per hour in some areas. Several major sections of road and rail routes have been closed in Scotland, and air passengers have had to cancel flights. The storm in Scotland brought more than a month's worth of rain, and on Friday also hit many parts of England. A state of emergency due to drought has been declared in Bali. In connection with a severe drought, the authorities of the Indonesian island of Bali announced the introduction of a state of emergency. The regime is set for 14 days. Acting Governor of Bali Sangamade Mahendra noted that the extreme weather on the island, which lasted from July to October, led to a shortage of water in 113 villages and fires in 10 districts, including the provincial capital Denpasar. Earlier, Indonesian President Joko Widodo said the country's military and police will be involved in putting out the fires. In March 2023, Bali authorities banned tourists from renting motorcycles after several high-profile accidents involving them, as well as climbing mountains. In August, it became known that from next year the country will charge tourist tax from foreigners. Winds in Taiwan reached a record speed during the passage of the typhoon 95 meters per second. The typhoon caused huge damage to the southern part of the island. More than 200,000 houses were left without electricity. Trees and tall structures fell, several buildings were destroyed. About 200 people were injured. On the island, closed schools and offices, cancelled air flights and ferries. Also, earthquake with a magnitude of 6.2 was recorded near the eastern coast of Taiwan. This was reported by the Central Meteorological Administration of the island. According to the agency, the source lay at a depth of 5.7 kilometers and was located 120 kilometers from the coast of Yulin and Hualien counties. Information about the tsunami, damage and casualties was not specified. In the west of Mexico, as a result of a landslide, 7 people were killed, 9 more are missing. The incident occurred in the municipality of Outland de Navarro, located in the state of Jalisco. The cause of the landslide was the heavy rains that took place in the region on Monday. Dozens of houses were destroyed and several roads were blocked in the incident zone. Rescuers from other regions of Mexico are arriving at the scene of the incident in order to assist their colleagues in eliminating the consequences of the disaster and searching for missing people, writes the local edition of El Informador. Ten people have been killed in a devastating tornado in eastern China. More than 5,000 people were injured. Hundreds of destroyed houses were left where the tornado passed through. Streets of cities are littered with fragments of roofs, debris of buildings and street structures. Operational services are working in the disaster zone. They have been transferred to a reinforced mode of work. A powerful hurricane passed through Karelia. The wind was so strong that it felled trees and broke electric wires. As a result, 45 settlements were de-energized. Now electricians are restoring power supply. Socially important objects are being prioritized. Earlier, the chairman of the State Committee of Karelia on Life Support and Safety of the Population, Oleg Polyakov, said that the energy sector had entered the high alert mode in advance. Emergency brigades are working.